Sometimes in order to better understand the what led me here of the present, we must go back to the past. The reality is that an ordinary, nothing special afternoon in my home, the place that shelters the people and photographs of those I hold dear, would have looked entirely different if I had skipped this part of my story. Many people would not have been present. Sometimes when we embark on a journey, we are aware that a person or a place will forever change us and give direction to our lives. I had none of that awareness when my plane landed in Central America in 1999. I stood alone at the curb outside La Aurora International Airport in Guatemala, excited about the adventure ahead, but missing my fiancé, Luke. I had only 2 weeks to wear my engagement ring before I put it in a safe deposit box as I left for Central America. Luke's proposal was memorably romantic. We were on a rugged Northern California beach at sunset. Luke strummed his guitar and sang an original love song to me, finishing just before high tide had a chance to soak our blanket. I tackled my husband-to-be with my eager yes and momentarily admired the sparkly diamond on my finger, and then we sprinted to the car hand in hand. We were both 22 and fresh out of college. Since Luke was heading off to Kazakhstan for a year, and I had committed to teach at an orphanage in Guatemala for 6 months, we had barely a week together to plan our wedding for the following summer. We sampled cake, chose our invitations, and found a beautiful vineyard for an outdoor wedding ceremony. The first dress I tried on is the one I chose for our wedding. All the main details were taken care of, which enabled us to wholeheartedly concentrate on our separate adventures ahead. I looked at my watch. Did the director of the school receive my flight information? How long should I wait before I call someone? Just then, a rickety maroon minivan rounded the corner, music blaring. The friendly driver who worked at the orphanage introduced himself to me as Juan Carlos. He said mucho gusto and took my suitcase and my bag of teaching materials as I slid into the passenger seat. In English, he asked me, "Have you been to Guatemala before? Are you nervous to be here? Have you worked with kids before?" My answers were all no, but I added, "I'm excited to be here and use my Spanish. I know I'll learn so much being here." As we drove out of the city and got on the highway, we passed numerous humble roadside markets, houses, and tin-roof shacks. The glass birdie dangling from the van's rearview mirror almost went flying when Juan Carlos suddenly turned sharply onto an unmarked road. As the gravel crunched under the tires, we approached a compound of buildings that I recognized from the photos on the website. I saw a 2-story building in the middle of a large compound. I recalled from what I'd read that the school classrooms, a kitchen, and an open concrete area for assemblies and church gatherings were all located there. On the second floor of the same building was a 3-bedroom apartment with a large living space that served as the infant and toddler live-in nursery. When I got out of the van, I was given a quick tour. The main building was surrounded by a covered pig pen enclosure, a flock of free-range chickens, and 6 numbered trailers that housed kids divided by age and gender. There was at least 1 adult assigned to each trailer as a house parent, all of them native Guatemalans. Over 60 kids called this orphanage home. Some were truly orphans, while others were there temporarily. I knew from the emails I had received that I would be living in trailer number 3, only a stone's throw from the school. I put my 1 suitcase in my small laminate wood-paneled room, while the 6 school-age girls who lived there watched me from the doorway. I introduced myself, and they all eagerly told me their names. A moment later, Teresa, the house parent for trailer 3 and a fellow teacher, appeared. Before I had a chance to open up my suitcase, the American director of the school came by to offer a heartfelt welcome and then delivered some unexpected news. The teacher for the 2nd and 3rd grade combination class just up and quit. "Jolana, would you be willing to finish out the school year as their teacher so the children can end on a positive note?" He knew I was prepared to teach ESL, English as a second language, daily to all the grades, but now the most urgent need was for a regular classroom teacher. "I know Spanish was your major in college, and I was hoping you could show up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and fill in the gap." This was not what I had signed up for, but I found myself nodding my head and saying I'd try my best.